Hey everyone, in today's drawing tutorial I'll show you how to draw a blue iris. The first thing you need to do is draw a big circle. Once you drew the bigger circle, you need to draw a smaller one inside of it. Now I'm going to start sketching the pattern of the iris, which means I'll sketch out where the lighter and where the darker part will be. So now that I finished the sketching part, I'm going to color the smaller circle with my black pencil. The pencils that I use are the Faber-Castell Polychromos, but you can use any pencils that you want. With my kneaded eraser, I'm going to erase a bit of the sketch so that the sketching lines don't show up when I color over them. An iris usually has a darker outline, and for that I'm using the darkest blue shade that I have. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to use the same shade of blue and I'll start coloring all around the pupil. Now I'm going to use a lighter blue shade to blend out the outline towards the inside. With a really light blue, I'm going to make a messy line on the inside of the iris. Once that's done, I'll blend out the darker blue near the pupil with the lightest blue. I'm using several shades of blue so that it looks even more realistic. I like to add a little bit of green for some contrast, but that step is optional. To add a bit of depth, I'm going to add the darkest blue on the inside of the messy line that I made earlier. Now I'll blend in the dark color with the light color so that there are no harsh lines. You just keep blending until it turns out the way you like. I use some white to blend even more and also to lighten some parts. And you just keep adding color until you like it. Now I'm adding some darker lines to put in a little bit of detail. You keep adding those lines with several colors or shades until you're happy with it. I'm also adding a little bit of yellow, but like I said, that step is optional. Now I'm going to blend out the outline towards the inside. To make those details that you always see in an iris, I'm going to make some harsh lines from the outside towards the inside. It is now time to add some darker spots for some depth. The outline of the darker spots is always going to be the lightest shade of blue. You can also go in with some white to make some lighter spots. It is also good to put in some really tiny dark spots for some more detail, like I just did. And now you just continue to add some darker and lighter spots until you're happy with it. Now I'm going to focus on blending in those outlines so that it has a really nice and smooth blending. On the upper part of the iris, I'm going to make the outline a little bit thicker because of the lashes, and the eyelid there is like a shadow, and that's why that part will be a little bit thicker and darker. If it's not dark enough for you, you can add a little bit of black, but pay attention to not make it too dark. Since the middle part was a little bit too dark for me, I added some white to make it look lighter. Now I'm outlining the darker spots with some white to have a nice contrast. Once again, you just add some darker spots or some lighter spots until you like it. For some more details, you make some really dark lines from the outside towards the inside, like we did with the lighter lines. The final step is adding some white highlights, and you can place them wherever you want. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I'll see you guys next time.